women aren't the only ones who are deluded. Men are deluded too. There's this notion floating around on the internet that women are hyper emotional and only deluded, and men are very rational and never deluded. And those things are just not true. Women do have the ability to be sound and logical and reasonable. It's not common or likely, but they do have the ability to do so. Just as men have the ability to be overtly emotional, out of control, and extraordinarily deluded. So we both have the ability to operate at these two different extremes. Um, and men are on the extreme of the society. Men are on the extreme of the spectrum. So men are the smartest people in the society. Men are, and this is evident by, I'm not just saying this, this is evident by IQ scores, and how the highest IQ scores are generally men. Men inventing everything like the telephone, things like this. Men being the curers of diseases like syphilis or the bubonic plague. So men are the extremes of the spectrum. Men are the extreme personalities. Um, so I want to note that. Also, all the philosophers who have revolutionized the world are also men. So we're truly extreme. Now, with that being said, men are also the most deranged. Men can be the most psychotic, most ruthless, callous, cold individuals you've ever known. I know some very ruthless people, and they're all men. All of them. I don't know women that goddamn ruthless. I know some ruthless women, especially during times of breakups. I know some very ruthless women, and it's extraordinary how they can get over breakups so quickly. But I don't know any. I don't know any women ruthless on the same level that I know men to be at. So yeah. So yeah, we can be the most deranged, we can be the most psychotic, we can all that. We're on the extremes, and that's proof of that. Um, so since we're on the extremes, we can be more deluded than women, right? So we're on the extremes, we can be more deluded than women, and what delusion does is it blinds you from reality and it stops you from seeing what's there. And when you can't accurately assess things as they are, as a man, you put yourself in very precarious and dangerous situations. You're not only dangerous to yourself, but you're also dangerous to other people in the society. And men being deluded is far more dangerous and ruinous than women being deluded. Because a delusional woman, she's not gonna do anything extraordinarily crazy, ruthless, or she might at the extreme, she might, but I believe men being delusional is far worse. I think men being delusional is far worse for society. I think it's far more dangerous. If I walk around this earth deluded to the fact that there are people who will kill me just based off of mere words, people will kill me off of mere words. And I say the wrong words to these individuals, I now have opened myself up to all types of attacks. It'll be a constant onslaught for some individuals if I were to disrespect them and talk to them the wrong way or say the wrong thing to them. So being delusional is far more dangerous. And sure, the same can be said for a woman in the same scenario, but it's just not as likely, right? Like men are far more sweet and nice with these hoes. Not me, but men are far more likely to be less ruthless and cruel towards women. Like I said, not me. I feed a bitch kitty litter. No, is it kitty liber? whatever it is, I'll feed a bitch dog food. Cause I'm ruthless, for real. So yeah, back to my notes. So, and another point I want to add on the men being more dangerous, men deluded men being more dangerous for society is that being delusional can cost you your life as a man, right? Like, that shit can get you killed. Talking to the wrong person the wrong way, flexing on the wrong person or touching the wrong person, like it can literally get you killed. And it's far more dangerous to be deluded as a man than it is a woman. So watch that. Be careful. Nazi Germany was infested with deluded men and delusional personalities. I mean, the head of state, Adolf, he brutalized people for the way they looked, or partly because of the way they looked. They had brown hair and brown eyes, and they were ugly and short. And he took these people out because of it. Or that was a part of why he took them out. But in reality, Hitler himself was very unappealing. He was short. He wasn't strapping. He was not. He had brown hair. He had blue eyes, but I mean, it's Jews with blonde hair and blue eyes, right? So it just goes to show the lunacy and the psychosis of some individuals that we let get in power. And I have to assume that the average person is an idiot if they let a psychopath like Hitler rise to power and do as much evil as he did. It must be a fucking idiot, the average person. So yeah. But Hitler was more like, and this just goes to show his delusion, right? Hitler was more like a Jew in terms of physical appearance than his ideal, right? His ideal was the Aryan Superman, tall, strong, strapping, gorgeous, fast, and genius, and just the top 1% man. Hitler was nothing like that at all. Bro was short, ugly, funny looking mustache, etc., etc. So he was far more similar, at least physically, to the Jews than the his ideal, the Germans, I guess. So yeah. So another point on that is if the head of state is that deluded, then you can bet your bottom dollar the people who follow him are deluded as well. Like the people who, I'm pretty sure the people who were engaging in the tasks you had to engage in to be a Nazi German soldier, I'm sure they had to be deluded at a pretty high level. I mean, you're killing innocent people for no real reason. I mean, they haven't done anything to you. You're brutalizing these people and killing these people and taking them as prisoners of war. I mean, you have to delude yourself at some level to engage this type of behavior continuously. You know, like there's no way you can just think you're a good person if you're really looking at things accurately and viewing things as they are, because these people were despicable, right? So they had to be deluded, right? This nigga was deluded. The nigga at the top was deluded. The people at the bottom probably gonna be deluded. You know what I'm saying? The extremes, man. So I'll get into a short story now. I was working at this one job. It was the last job I had. I'm not gonna say the name of the place. I would never incriminate myself. But so I'm serving this guy at my job, and he had the nerve to tell me that he's big and strong and ready to blast or ready to last while his fat ass stomach is hanging over his belt line. This nigga had the audacity to tell me that. It's like, bro, you're huge, your stomach is huge, but you're sitting there telling me that you're fast and strong and ready to last. Like, cut it out. You're not fast. You're not strong. You're not ready to last. You are ready to last. If there's a famine or something like that, yo ass for sure gonna last. Yo fat ass is for sure gonna last, nigga. Cause you're huge. You got a lot of fat in your body. So, so he told me that while his abysmal stomach was hanging over his belt line. And then he also had the audacity to tell me that he's his wife's dream man. So I already should have known that this guy is extraordinarily delusional, like very delusional. Like, this guy has never lived in reality. Reality is a place he's never visited. This nigga never comes to Earth. He doesn't even live on fucking the same planet that I live on. Cause this nigga's just so deluded. Nigga talking about he's his wife's dream man. Bro, you're short, you're unremarkable. He did seem pretty charismatic at a level, but also you're submissive and you're a bitch. And just going off the physicality, bro, you're fat, bro. Like, your stomach is huge. Like, how are you anybody's dream man? You're nobody's dream man. The girls don't grow up wanting to be a nigga wanting to be with a nigga like you. You are not that, brother. You're not that. This guy is very deluded. I should have known from the time he said, I'm strong and ready to last. I should have known that this guy was a psychopath. A real nutcase. So he tells me he's his wife's dream man, right? Dream man. This nigga's tripping. And then I told him that he wasn't his wife's dream man. You're not her dream man, buddy. You have a gut that almost touches your nuts. You're not a dream man to any woman on the planet Earth. You're not. You're the guy that she settles for because the guy she actually wants, she doesn't qualify for because she's a psychopath. So you're nobody's dream man. Calm down. Stop it. Get some help. I'm a gangster. I'm a killer. So this fool tells me that. So I tell him that, yeah, I tell him that his wife, I tell him that he's not his wife's dream man. And I also tell him that his wife is probably a bitch. She's probably a dirtball. And I was trying to help this man out. Like, I'm like, bro, she's probably not a good person. Like, most people aren't good people. She's probably not a good person. At the time, I wasn't thinking like this nigga's a bad person. I was thinking like she's probably a bad person. This nigga probably a decent person. I wasn't thinking like that at the time. I should have been. Because if she's a bad person and she's with his ass, he's probably a bad person, etc., etc. You know, it just goes together. Things just flow. So I told him that. I told him that his wife might be a fucking piece of trash. And he didn't like that. Nigga said, I don't even want to hear that about my wife. This nigga's so deluded, right? He does not want to know the truth at all. So he was like, I don't even want to hear that about my wife. He got mad. He told me he didn't want to know the truth. And then he ran off and he told his wife. Now, while I was telling him about his wife, she was already gone. Like, him and his wife, they were already gone. I'm not going to go into detail because I would never incriminate myself. I'll never incriminate myself. I'm not going to go into detail, but, and I got to wrap this video because it's getting kind of, man. So, yeah. He went to go tell his wife. And she wasn't right there. Like, I wasn't talking grimy about her while she was right there. I ain't gonna do that. Or I'm ruthless, but I'm not that goddamn ruthless. So this bitch left. I start, chopping some game with this weak ass nigga. And then, so he leaves, right? He leaves. He pays for whatever this nigga was trying to get. And then he comes back with his wife. Now, of course, his wife is leading a charge. She walking in front. She's the one confronting me because she's the leader, right? So this nigga went and reported back to his bitch like she's the fucking leader, like she's the fucking power holder in the relationship, which she is, right? it's so crazy to me, but like this is how people are actually living. Like, and I gotta stop talking like I'm dealing with regular sane people. I'm dealing with mostly psychopaths. Like, you people are psychopaths. Most people in the society are psychopaths. And most of y'all bitches is running y'all's program because y'all are weak niggas. So I gotta stop thinking like you people are regular. You people aren't regular. You people are psychopaths. And you're too obsessed with these hoes. I give a shit about these hoes. I smack the shit out of a fucking hoe. 5 across the eye. With the dark side, not the light side. Dark side. So anyway, no, I'm just joking by the way. I'm just joking by the way. So she comes back, and they try to get me fired, basically. They try to get me fired. And she's the one, of course, she's the one addressing me. Shit. Of course, she's the one addressing me. She's the one who's trying to handle this situation like a man because she wants to be a man. And this nigga's a bitch. And he done gave all his power to a woman. And they try to get me fired. That's just a story illuminating the fact that most people in the society are men, and what am I saying? Most people in the society are men. Most people in the society are deluded, including men. And now when I see this guy, something might happen to him. Not from me, because I wouldn't do anything to hurt anybody. I'm a nice guy. But now something might happen to this fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a weak male. And guys like him are the reason we're in this situation now where we got all these bitches in power positions. Bro, that's it, bro. I'm done.